Praise God.
And if you belong to Christ, who holds the power and the healing abilities, that same power and healing abilities belong to you too.
Whoa.
You too also have self-healing abilities and that same power that Christ brought you with. Isn't that nice? You should be glad to answer that.
To make a change, because right away, they say, well, I got to change, right? I got to make this transformation in my life, right? But, exactly how long it's going to take, because that could be a long process. That process can...
Marcus Hart Transform You Radio Show. The only radio show where you can make real results and start living in your purpose. Visit MarcusHartEnterprises.com. MarcusHartEnterprises.com.
Hello and good morning for those who are in Central Standard Time. Can I get a hey now to all my beautiful people out there sending positive waves? Oh, not waves, some vibes. We are sending positive vibes your way. We're looking to get started with Free Yourself Friday. Yes, it is Free Yourself Friday. Hooray! We finally made it to the end of the week. We have an awesome show for you today. We have an awesome guest, and I'm just excited. And when I get excited, I'm feeling pretty good because I know at the end of this interview, I'm going to be walking away a little bit more transformed. And I hope the same for you, for those who are out there viewing, for those who are out there listening. Hey, and the best part about today's show is that it's free. Free access, free live access today exclusively because it's Friday. I love to be nice on Fridays. That sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? How is this guy only nice on one day and not any other part of the week? No, I'm always nice. Honestly, I am. But I'm just extra nice today. I'm over the top nice today. I'm infinite nice today. And I'm looking to provide infinite love with you guys today because it's very important that you get this information here today. Okay? Now, a little bit on update, other than it being Free Yourself Friday, I am expecting to do a special show tomorrow. We normally don't do Saturday shows, but by special request, I'm going to do a show tomorrow. So make sure you jump on aboard with us tomorrow as well for the special Saturday show. The guest tomorrow will be John DeGormo. And if I'm mispronouncing his last name, which I tend to do sometimes, and I admit to being imperfect. Because if I was admitting to be perfect, I would be something I'm not. So imperfection is welcome here, and because this is the place where transformation happens. So if you are imperfect, you are in the right place because transformation happens here to striving towards perfection, even though, it can be far off. But we can get you closer with every little guest, with every little thing we provide here. All right, so with that said, let's go on into today's show with the special guest we have. So the guest we have today is a writer, and you know how I feel about writers. And on top of that, she's a motivational speaker. Now, you know how I feel about writers and speakers. I embrace them. They are my brothers and sisters in arms, literally, because, if you know anything about me, I'm a writer. I'm a speaker. So I just have this startup for, other writers and speakers because, I know what they go through. I know what they experience on a day-to-day basis. So I admire them, and I look up to them also as my heroes. So I get so inspired. So, but this particular writer and speaker, she's based out of Santa Barbara, California. She has just published her recent memoir, The Secrets of a Nun, My Own Story, as well as many other novels. There's 2 others listed here. I'll let her tell you more about it. But this person is a remarkable person. This woman, she's definitely, the poster child of what we should be striving to do as far as, making improvements and making changes in our lives and inspiring others and helping others be able to focus on the real world problems, but looking towards hope. Okay? So without further ado, let's hear it for Elizabeth Upton.
How are you, Marcus?
I'm doing fine. It's good to be with you. How are you doing today?
Excellent. And I was thinking about what you were saying about being nice. And one of the reasons why I do write inspirational or motivational books is to honor people as they strive to be nice. And today, we are inundated with so much information, even in the world of inspiration and motivation. And it means that we need to pull back and just be grateful. When we're grateful, we're nice. We're nice people. And gratitude opens the door to love in our process, which is our journey. And you know what? Everybody's journey is precious. I applaud you for your service. I'm not exactly a poster person. I'm one, I would say, who strives to become better day by day and to make every Friday a special day on Monday. So what can I share with you? Let me tell you a little bit of why I became a nun in the first place. I was put into an orphanage with my twin sister. And the reason we were put in an orphanage was that my mother's new husband didn't want us. And so we were told originally that we were poor kids. We were going to an elite boarding school, and we found out and we would have our own rooms. And when we went to this beautiful place, we were put in this big room with 100 cots side by side. Yeah. And we said, where's our private room? Then it dawned on us that we were being punished. We didn't know why we were being punished. Eventually, our mother said, hey, our grandmother couldn't take care of us, but that was a lie. But what was interesting about people have traumas and dramas, but they kind of live in you. But being with suffering children, abandoned children, children from criminal backgrounds, children who are warehoused. As a little kid, as a little child, it gave me a deep compassion for suffering people. And that grew in me even when we eventually were taken out of this orphanage. And as a young girl, I was an athlete with my sister. We were Olympic competitors. We were sprinters. But what involved me so much in my pursuit for excellence was, how can I help kids? How can I relieve suffering? And that's why I became a nun. I just turned 16 when I entered the nunhood. And then I was put, and my training began in Harlem, New York. And that was a place of, drugs, guns, activity, the pits of the pits as a young girl. And it was very interesting because I was a trained athlete. I didn't have any sense of fear. That helped me, I'll tell you. But being in touch with helping, again, struggling people just opened me up to the process of everybody, no matter how pitiful our life is, we can take a step forward. We can move forward. We could get out of the dumps if we want to. And as writers, I think that's what we strive to do. You being a minister and being a doctor of theology, your whole life is dedicated. In your radio program, you have all these diverse people who come in. And all I do is just share my insight, just to give perhaps the listener hope. Every person, no matter how difficult your life is, when you get out of bed, you can move your leg, be so grateful. Many of our soldiers can't do that, and they're very young, and they're very beautiful. As the listeners are, I feel we need to find a reason to love ourselves. We do. We need a reason to be good to ourselves. And less is better. We don't have to read tons of books. No, we don't. All we need to do is have our pulse and motivate ourselves. If it's going to a religious service, we're listening to an inspirational person as yourself, Marcus. It lifts our spirit. That's what we need, because in our world today, it's rather chaotic. There's bad news everywhere. But what is interesting is every listener listening to you, they are the good news. The very fact that they are listening to us as we speak, we're sharing together. I can't see who your listeners are, but we know they're out there, and we know that they're good people, and they want to become better. And it's so exciting that we have the privilege to speak to you all and to be happy for you. And happiness comes when you have peace of mind.
Definitely. Wow, you just said a mouthful there, and like in everything you said was like just on point on what is really needed in the world, and I applaud you, and I also applaud your humility too. You display a lot of humility, and the gratefulness is definitely there. So with that being said, I mean, I got so many questions now. I mean, my mind is racing, with tons of questions. So, like, the first question I would dare to ask is like, you mentioned suffering. When you think back on your own suffering, was it, looking back on it now, does it seem like more suffering, or more of like something you had to go through and experience?
You know what? When you're a kid, like a little child, you're just in it. You know what I'm saying? Suffering brings you into the present, big time, depending on what it is. But it's all part of our journey, and it comes to the realization that our journey, no matter what it is sacred, and that we get understandings gradually. Like my husband will always say to me, "Hey, baby, it's all about the process," and I would, just burn because I didn't want to hear that. But you know what?
Yeah.
It is. But everybody's process is sacred. I'm going to tell you, Marcus, from my heart, my process isn't everybody's process. If it could help someone, fine. But I don't have the answers. And knowing that I don't have all the answers gives me peace of mind, because I know my life is a mystery. It's filled with mystery. It's filled with lack of understanding. But the movement toward love, the movement toward not judging my fellow human beings as evil or bad, of doing my best to smile and to lift them up, to reverence, honest to God, to reverence their journey, and to acknowledge that, man, I don't have the answers. I strive to share the little bit that I have through life, but I feel I'm just a kid. I'm just a child, just beginning, and I'm far from the age of a child. But when we become childlike, we return to the sacredness of our innocence. The sacredness of our innocence is in gratitude and living in the moment. The past is past. The future is not for us to know, but we do have the power of what we are doing now. And release, I beg everyone, release self-condemnation. Release punishing ourselves. Man, it's the worst disease on this planet. Be good to yourself.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You are preaching right now.
And like people in your beautiful ministry, people like you strive to be perfect. And you know what? Sometimes it means just striving to be your God-given self, and to understand that perfection at best is an illusion. It is never consummated. It is out there somewhere. But to be one's beautiful self in gratitude, hey, then we're living the life. Then we're being drawn into the releasing power of the moment. Then guess what? We're happy. We're happy campers. You know what? And we don't complain. We stop complaining. We turn off the TV. We let our iPhones, God help us, go. We let the obsession with technology release. So where we can actually, truly, pet our animals, kiss our children, smell the roses, be in the moment. Hey, that's life. Money isn't life. Abundance isn't life. It's who you are, who we are. Moving forward, just doing the best we can. That's applaudable. I applaud you. I applaud everyone who strives to do their best.
Definitely. Oh, wow. My heart is just, burning right now because, you just really touching places in my heart. And, it's just always with great appreciation, to be able to just hear, that there's more souls like you, still existing here on earth. Well, here's be my second question. And, you mentioned being your God-given self. You were a nun for 2 decades. Was there any point in your life where you started feeling like, okay, well, maybe this is the pivot I need to make in my life to start being who God truly, called me to be?
You know what is interesting? It's like, I went through transformations as a nun. It was like, hey, I was growing up into my womanhood, growing up as an individual. I remember I was just 16. And so it was like growing and changing. And when I came to the decision that the nunhood was no longer a viable life for me, that I needed to move out and to embrace a different consciousness, to move forward in another direction, that was not easy, and it took a lot of, shall I say, introspection, and also gaining my courage to leave a life that I had known for so many years and to begin anew. But hey, I was young, and at that time, when you're young, you're daring. I just said, hey, if I could have embraced this life when I was a child, I can embrace it as a young woman. I can do what I need to do and just move forward. And it's not unlike so many of our listeners. Some get separations, divorces, they move into new jobs, they release the children from their homes, they have new babies. It's all transformation, embracing a new life. And we're always embracing our emerging life. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but that's what happened to me.
Well, I love the response. I'm not arguing with it. Here's another follow-up question to that. There's a lot of serious issues, facing women of all ages today. What, in your opinion, is the most serious issues facing women?
It's a lot of them. One in the job force is equality. To be treated equal to men. For example, most professors in universities are paid less. Often doctors, physicians are paid less doing the same job. So they need to be, nurses, for example, male nurses are paid a lot more than female nurses. And the reason for that is that they can be more physical with disruptive patients. But that's not, maybe that's true, but it doesn't mean that they should be paid more, because often nurses are doing critical work and have done it forever. So the disparity of that. And then women is a challenge when they realize that so much burden has been put on men. Men are expected to run the household, to make all the money, to be the tough guy through generations. And that's why so many marriages crumble, because it's a lack of realization that it's a partnership. Men and women remain and pray and be together when they're more equal, when they share the responsibility. So when I was at the university teaching, I made this statement. I truly feel that all you young girls should only have as many children as you can support alone. What happened was all the guys in the class stood up and started clapping, and then the young girls started screaming at them. But it was very enlightening because the truth is that we put too much on men. Women have to realize that it's equal partnership, that they have to be able to hold their own. Women recently have demanded that they be in combat. And then now the generals are saying, hey, if you want that to be treated equal, then you enlist like all the young men to be in the armed services. So it's up and down. We have to realize the whole cake that we want to eat. We have to, as women, it goes on, but it's coming to terms with women's own empowerment, that they have what they have to move forward in life regardless of diversity and suffering. Have I answered your question? Because I never know if I really do.
Yeah, we have came a long way, and we still got a very long way with, social injustice and, and just the gender equality issues. You brought us some real interesting points here. And
we need education.
I like
education. Worldwide.
Education is
coming along.
Yeah, so tell us about your book, Exuberant, Women Don't Age, Time to Waste,
You know what? I wrote this book. The challenge was to condense a book into thoughtful nuggets, and taking 300 pages and to put it into maybe 120 pages. It was a real challenge because we're very busy today, like everybody. We haven't got time to go through pages and pages, and I wanted people to be able to read Exuberant Women Don't Age, No Time to Waste. And that applies to young women because as soon as young women become obsessed with age and how they look, they start to age overnight. It's a double-edged sword, so that's why I said exuberance. What young children have is exuberance. What your children have, even babies, exuberance. Exuberance is ageless, and that's why I wrote this book, so that men and women who open it up, men who love women, open it up, and women who love men open it up, and they can go say to the first chapter, I can do it. Often women of all ages feel, hey, I can't do it. I feel so often, I can't do it. But when we say to ourselves, yes, I can do it, inch by inch, foot by foot, breath by breath, I don't have to be hard on myself. All I have to do is hour by hour move forward, clean up my thoughts, embrace clarity, release resistance. And then that's what this book is about.
Great. Fantastic. Hey, I'm interested in it. I definitely like to pick up.
You're Mr. Enthusiasm. You're the most beautiful person, I'm telling you. Oh, my goodness. I'm so thrilled every time when I am on programs with young lads like you, the hope of the future, the hope of today. It just makes my heart overflow.
Well, you guys have paved the way for us, and you guys continue to do pave the way for us. Those who are generations above us, and we got to give respect where respect is due, and pay homage to those who made it possible for us to be here. The people who fought for us in civil rights. Hey, all those who have gone forward. Our Native Americans. My husband is Cherokee, Black, and European. So I've come to a more elaborate or more expansive understanding of we are one family. We need to work together, all generations. Our children, my children, everybody can learn from all generations when we work together. We cannot separate ourselves from our family, our one family. Our human race. And we have a hard time with forgiveness, and so I would ask you this, Miss Elizabeth, why is forgiveness the door to achieving, enduring happiness?
I'll tell you something. A lot of psychiatrists, psychologists, writers, we make a hell of a lot of money on people's anger. Anger is the worst cancer in the human psychic. It destroys you. I had to go through a lot of years. I would go to shamans. I would roll the crystals. Name it, I was there, beating my breast, filled with anger and distress. And then Marcus, and then one day it hit me. You are in the state of forgiveness because you're striving to let all this HIT go. You want to be free of the anger. And so when I was embraced with forgiveness, I said, man, I didn't realize I was already on the path. Because when anger and revenge obsesses, hey, we're dying. We're dying inch by inch. It's so lethal. And then guess who comes around knocking at our door? Dear old fear. Fear is a brother and sister of anger. So we got to get in grips with that. And then the beautiful quality of forgiveness comes. And even for those who don't believe in Jesus, and that's fine, when he was on the cross, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. What he did is what we do. He asked for a higher power to help him. Because, man, he was suffering and dying. Do it for me since I can't do it for myself. And that's what we need to do. Find a reason, to forgive. And even the path of finding the reason, we're already forgiving ourselves and we're moving forward and we're forgiving other people as well. And I've come to the point where I've been free, thank God, free of my anger and releasing it and wishing the individuals involved peace and love and goodness in their life as I move forward. Let me tell you, if you have this, anyone has this in their heart, and they are in the path of working toward forgiveness, know that you are already being blessed with forgiveness. Marcus, I feel so passionate about that because anger, hey, a lot of our anger breeds disease in our bodies and in our minds. We need to be free with peace and love and goodwill. Goodwill. All through spiritual Bibles and spiritual writings, be a man and woman of goodwill. When you wish people well, then you receive the same blessing.
Oh, yeah, I truly believe in that. What you give out there is definitely what you're going to receive back. And, I get this kind of uneasiness sometimes when I go around people, if they say, "Oh, you're Christian," and I tell them exactly what you just told me. It's not about, I'm not trying to force anybody to be Christian, but latch on to something higher.
Christian has a bad rap. Sometimes, what? We don't have to say, hey, I'm Christian or I'm a Buddhist. I like the Buddhist philosophy of compassion and service. All we have to do is strive to be good people. And then, hey, when you have this beautiful quality, guess what happens? You don't have to say so much. People want to be around you. People want to listen to you. People are uplifted by you. See, that's the coolest, best thing in our life. Don't you think? Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm enjoying this conversation here.
I'm enjoying you because you're beautiful. And everybody, that I see, hey, people who are drugged out or bums or so-called, I smile at them, say, hey, how can I help you? What can I do for you, mister, dear little girl, dear lady? What can I do? And sometimes it's not what I can do. It's just reaching out compassionately without judgment. And we underestimate the power of our soul. We underestimate the power of our spirituality, that when we smile and we offer them love from our heart, as you do and as our listeners do, it does the trick. Sometimes out of the blue, don't you feel like you could be in a funk and a little burst of happiness comes from somewhere? Well, I'll tell you right frankly, Marcus, it's from someone loving someone forgiving someone. That's where it comes from. It's so wonderful. It's so beautiful. It just makes me dance for joy.
You certainly are a beautiful person, and I'm sure that some of our audience members will love to get a hold of you, get connected with you, and just sharing some of that sunshine that you've been giving me. You haven't been having me cheesing all night, well, all this morning. I've been cheesing.
Yeah, we love each other. And love is powerful. Love is exuberant. When people love, they could be 106 and they look beautiful because love is in their heart. It just shines through their beautiful eyes. Let us love each other, honestly.
Yes, definitely. So if the audience want to get a hold of you, or find out how to get a hold of one of your books, what would be the best way to connect with you?
The real easy way, first of all, they could go to any bookstore and order my books. Or they could order direct from Amazon.com, and they'll get my bio, they'll get my social media, and then they could come to you in your program, and you could brief them as well. It's easily done today. A lot of people like e-books, or they like to download it on their iPhone, or they like the printed word. I was brought up with the printed word. So Amazon.com, my books, Exuberant Women, Don't Age, No Time to Lose, Seeker is a Nun, My Own Story, or if they're into fiction, The Shaman and the Mafia. It's all there for their pleasure. And believe me, Marcus, it's been a super pleasure chatting with you, being with a compadre. I feel so happy about that.
Oh, yeah, we're buddies now, so you're not going to get away from it.
So
I tend to force my love on people.
Be lovers of the Spirit and be lovers of people in compassion and non-judgment and gratitude, in sweet gratitude. That's what keeps us really going, lifting up to the stars, that's for sure.
Yes, so be it, yes. Well, we definitely got your website, too, and all your different links. We definitely will post it directly on the website, transformubroadcast.com website, so that people can access you that way as well. We really appreciate you, and, it's just been wonderful. And, before we end, is there anything, any final words you want to just leave our guests with?
I would say one thing: when you live in gratitude, you live in love, and your life becomes freer. Release anger, embrace forgiveness, and be kind to yourself. Love yourself. Love this dear man, Marcus, who's doing a great service for us. And live a good life. Your life is already good because you're striving to make it that way.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to take that myself and begin to instantly apply that right now to give me an extra boost. I definitely needed this conversation. Wow, you're just an inspiration.
Oh, thank you, and I love you and your family and everybody who listens to your show. Bless you.
Yeah, bless you too. May the Lord bless you as well, my friend.
Thank you.
So to all of my listeners and viewers out there, if you want to, join us, join us for free at transformubroadcast.com. That's transformubroadcast.com. The letter U, broadcast.com. You'll have access to many of our world's leading experts, inspirers, and motivators, and coaches and writers and awesome people like Elizabeth here. So get in touch with us, get connected with us, and make sure you get a hold of this recording once it hits the website. You'll be able to play this over and over and over again. Get connected with Elizabeth as well. Pick up one of those books. I'm on my way to doing it too myself. We got a lot of reason to get caught up with, so we can learn more about this awesome person. And Elizabeth, it is election season. Do you have a favorite right now in the election?
Do I have a what? A favorite in the election?
The presidential election.
You know what? I don't go there. But I would say it's very important to respect each other, to love each other, and to lift each other up. That's my message to the world and to myself. Every day I strive to do that.
Okay, excellent. That's fair enough. Okay.
Bless you. Happy day.
Okay, with that being said, many blessings, peace, and love to each and every one of you guys. You guys have an awesome weekend. Make sure you be tuned in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If not, we'll see you on Monday. Goodbye.